As a farmer, one of the things I fear every summer is hail. When we have a hail issue, this is just no fun because you've done all the work of planting, a lot of times spraying, and you go, oh boy, my crop's starting to look pretty good. And then in one fell swoop, you have a bunch of leaves on the ground, sometimes stems, sometimes full plants. So today we want to talk just a little bit about how much damage can be done before you're actually losing any yield, and what do you do after you have hail.
Let's start with corn, and let's talk about the least of our problems, leaf loss. Let's not even talk about stand loss yet. Let's just assume every plant is okay, but you lost a bunch of leaf area. Now, it looks terrible. I've driven by so many fields, and we've had fields on our farm too that were all stripped up from hail that had come down, and you think, man, I've lost half my leaf area. I must have lost half my yield potential. But that's just not the case. When you look at the charts for hail, the percent area leaf destroyed, if you're not over 55% lost, you're not even going to get to a 30% yield loss, and in most cases, you're going to be looking at a 10% yield loss or less. Now, I realize we don't want to have to look at fields like that. We'd much rather say, nope, it's a total loss, chop whatever's left or disc it under or something because it looks terrible. But the fact is you're going to get some yield out there. It just depends on what stage of growth you're at. The worst timing to get the hail, of course, is right around tassel when we're trying to pollinate that ear. If we're in that condition, yeah, that's where you could really have some problems. Once that ear is pollinated, losing leaf area is not as bad as you would think. It's still not good, but at least you're not going to be losing half your crop or more.
About 20 years ago, Darren and I were at this training event at Iowa State University in Ames. And one of the things I noticed as we were walking up is they had a machine that was shooting ice at plants. And I thought, what in the world are these guys doing? Well, it was a hail simulator, and they did this many years in a row. So then all the insurance companies, farmers out there, just everybody in the industry has good data to work with. So they would spray that hail at all different levels, at all different stages of corn and soybeans. And it's shocking to me, like what Darren just said, how you can have a tremendous amount of leaf area gone and there's very little yield that's actually been lost, and that's been proven many times out. It's the same thing with soybeans. When I look at the charts on soybeans, you can lose 50% of the leaf area and only about 10% of the yield is lost. That's not much, because when you walk out to the field that next morning after hail, you go, oh no, we're doomed here. We're going to lose all our yield, and you only lost 10%, and in many cases even less than that. In terms of the number of nodes that are cut off, it's almost the same thing with soybeans. If you're in the vegetative stages, you can lose half the nodes and you only have 10% yield loss. If you lose half the nodes in the reproductive stages, it gets a little bit worse. It might be 20 or 30% yield loss, but still, it's not an all-out disaster.
I know there's a lot of data on these charts. If you want to look them up yourself online, you can see the charts and pick your specific numbers you want to use. Just search for hail charts and Iowa State University or University of Nebraska at Lincoln, and you'll find the charts we're talking about.
All right, there are a few other things that we want to talk about here. Fungicide, when should you replant, stalk quality, and weed control.
All right, let me start with stalk quality, because let's say you get some hail, that's bad enough. Now you have to start splitting open some stalks and seeing what's going on. And if you've got deep bruising in the lower parts of the stem below the ear, you're going to have some lodging late in the season, and you're going to have some issues, and that's something that you need to watch. On soybeans, what I do, here's my little trick. I'll go out in soybean fields and just maybe a few inches up off the ground, I'll just run my arm across those soybean plants just down the row, and I'll see how many snap off and how many just bend over and pop right back up. And that gives me a good idea about soybean bruising. On corn, you just have to split some stalks open and take a look. If you've got deep bruises, it could be a bad thing later in the season.
Well, one of the ways that you can prevent further damage is spray a fungicide. The problem with fungicides is they don't stop bacteria. When you have hail hit your plants, usually bacteria enters in, so you have more bacterial diseases. You'll also see more fungal diseases too, but the challenge with spraying a fungicide is you're not always going to gain yield. The plant will look better. We've done it on our own farm where, I would swear to you, absolutely we're going to gain yield, because where we sprayed fungicide, the plants looked so much better. but sometimes we gain yield, sometimes we don't. So it's hard for me to tell you absolutely spray a fungicide, but honestly on our farm, after hail, we are going to spray fungicide.
Another thing, Brian, is weed control. If you've lost your crop canopy, we just take that for granted in agriculture, how big a deal having crop canopy is to holding down late season weed pressure. You're going to have more weeds, and chances are there aren't going to be many options that are going to be labeled for you, if any, if that hail hits late enough in the season.
The last thing is, should you replant or not? And that's something you need to work through with your agronomist, with your insurance adjuster. I don't know what to tell you unless I have specific data, and the most important thing I'm looking for is, when can I replant? If I can replant in early June, that's whole different than late June, and it's absolutely different than early July. So just look at, in your area, how much yield do you usually lose by planting late? The last thing that I'll throw out along with that is, let's say you are hailed out and you go, well, I'm just not going to replant, it's too late. I would still encourage you to put a cover crop in, put a cover crop blend in. That way you will have the best overall soil life and soil health going into next year, so you can maximize next year's yield.
Hail is a bad thing, there's no question about it. Get some other help, get some other people to give you some advice as well, so you don't have all the emotion involved in it. And then look at the charts to see exactly what the data shows as to what kind of impact it's going to have on your yield. Now, in terms of impact on our weed of the week, we know this one's going to make it through hail and it's going to come back. You're going to have to get it under control. So we'll show you how coming up later in the show.